Somewhere in Ontario this spring, a child with autism will be seriously injured after being improperly restrained by staff who haven't been trained on how to do it. Somewhere in Ontario this spring, an education worker will be seriously injured, not because they lack compassion for our children and other children with exceptionalities, but because they don't have the necessary resources in the classroom to support them. Somewhere in Ontario this spring, students without disabilities will watch these things happen, and they'll be traumatized.
I'm Cristina Howorun at Queen's Park, and today a group of parents of children with autism and behavior analysts banded together here in a last-ditch plea, asking the government to hit pause on planned changes to autism funding and pointing out the ripple effect this could have on the school system as a whole.
You're putting them into a situation in the education system that is not prepared, because those children with autism, students with autism that can be in a classroom are already there for at least a portion of the day.
The government says its new plan is designed to give everybody equal access to therapy, but it means many children who require more resources will see their funding slashed, forcing parents who can't pay to curtail 20 hours of weekly therapy into 2 or 3, and pushing children into classrooms.
I know that sometimes my kids exhibit challenging behaviors that other kids won't understand. So in this fight, we need families and in particular parents of kids who are so-called neurotypical to join us, to say, hey, this has an impact on my kid too. And not in a like get that kid out of here kind of way, but like, hey, we want a learning environment that's good for everybody.
Monday, the government announced that each new full-time student with autism will come with about $12,000 for the school board, but most students are already attending at least part-time, and there's no additional funding coming for them.
The autism community is concerned, but everyone in Ontario should be concerned, and parents of children, school-aged children, should be concerned that the quality of education of all students, including with autism, is going to be negatively impacted by the government's decisions.
That's because to date, boards have not received any indication that they'll receive the resources to address students with autism's needs, which could mean thrusting them into classrooms without additional educational assistance or staff. Mikau Van Speck credits intensive therapy with his success through elementary and high school, but says young children without access to the same entering schools could be problematic.
There's a lot of kids that are going to be taken out of therapy on April 1st and put into the school system. A lot of them are not ready for school. A lot of them are not toilet trained. Teachers are not trained to deal with that. Principals are not trained to deal with that. Only ECEs are trained to deal with that.
Now, the government has pledged to subsidize up to $1 million for teachers who want to upgrade their training. And they also plan to devote an entire PA day to helping teachers better interact and engage with students with autism. But parents and those that are in the field say this simply falls short and does nothing to help students that are going to be entering the schools within just a few weeks. Now, we did reach out to the minister. We asked for comment. We have not yet heard back.